Welcome to the Building Business Relationship Show. I'm Matt Stone, and before we officially launch, we're exploring what matters most when it comes to relationships in business. These early episodes are about testing ideas, learning from guests, and hearing what you think belongs in the conversation. So listen in, share your thoughts, and help shape what this show becomes. And helping us to shape what the show becomes today is... drum roll, the amazing Heidi Medina. She's a 5-time entrepreneur and business relationship strategist. Do you see the connection? Who believes people don't refer followers, they refer relationships? Let's see what she thinks about that. Heidi's helped over 350 established entrepreneurs use intentional conversations to turn their existing connections into paying clients and collaborators. Without grinding content or feeling overly salesy, which is really great. Heidi's originally from the US, now based in Portugal. She teaches conversation first marketing to help entrepreneurs get more out of less social media while dumping those algorithms. So I couldn't resist. I had to get Heidi on the show. Heidi.
Hi, thanks for having
Thank
me.
you.
I know, I'm so excited.
Thanks for taking the time. Yeah. And you know how these flow. I've given you the outline. So this is a fast conversation, but what we're excited about in the future is more longer ones with panels and exciting things. But let's just dive right into the first question that I ask everybody. As you look back on your life and your career and all those companies you've started and managed and helped, what's a business relationship that's had a major impact on your life and business?
Honestly, one of the biggest ones was for business number two. My first one I started at 13, but number two was I had been working with a landscape company for almost 3 years in some very elite companies in Wilmington, North Carolina. And we were working in communities like Landfall, Figure Eight Island, Riceville Beach. I mean, these are creme de la creme neighborhoods. And Henry and Heather Berger, they were the owner of the company, they were the bosses, and they decided to let go of one whole side of their company, the maintenance side, and they offered it to me to take it over. And so I got that business turned out to be award winning on the East Coast. And I literally was working with people like you have, Matt, top CEOs, movie stars, all this kind of stuff. And I don't know if I would have had that start or those connections without them having that faith in me for being able to take over that side of things and build my own business out of it. I mean, they literally gave me that start. I was very lucky. Yeah. So yeah.
How do you draw on that? When does that experience kind of come into your consciousness now? I mean, all these, these years later, when does it come up in your mind when you're helping clients or, how does it kind of revisit your
It does. It
mind?
is part of the basis because it made me realize how important relationships are and how much they can change your life. I mean, did I work my ass off for 3 years? Yes, I did. But at the same time, they didn't have to hand me, they literally, like, here are the clients. We're going to let them go. You get to pitch them. I mean, they didn't do the work for me. I had to pitch the clients. I had to do that to get them on board with me. But of course, they already knew me for 3 years. So, yeah, of course, they all said yes. But without them having even given me that opportunity, and it's because I had built the relationship I did with them. And it taught me going forward because the relationship I had with them, the relationship I had with the clients, even though it wasn't my company at that time. I mean, really, that's what it took so much from that.
I can tell. I can tell. So help us land the plane. And this is going to be something I'm going to want to talk to you about in much more depth. So
Yeah.
there was a big obsession for a long time. Maybe there still is with some people of like how many followers I have, on LinkedIn and every platform.
Yeah.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that those followers are activating business for you. In fact, I met someone a while ago who had over 20,000 followers and zero business from their LinkedIn, pretty much.
Yeah.
So it can happen. And that's not a criticism of them. It's just followers and relationships are two different things. And I'd love for you to expound on what do you think are some common mistakes and or misconceptions about social media and relationships and business?
I mean, we've been trained by the social media platforms for almost 2 decades, and we've given up some agency on because they have been like, oh, create content for us. We'll give you reach and visibility with the right people. And they've taught us to pay attention to numbers, not people so much. So think about it how dehumanizing things is. It's content, it's comments, it's impressions, it's followers, and so when you start thinking about this, this takes away that it's actually a conversation with a human being on the other side of the screen, and they're connecting you. Supposedly, social media platforms were built to connect you to build relationships, right? But we forget it's actually someone else's business. And so they just want us there to make money, and we have been trained to become their product and create free content and grind that out and focus on impressions and building follower numbers like that's going to actually build our business, and it doesn't. We've forgotten to build the relationships.
Yeah, I often think, am I working for Meta or am I working for myself?
Yeah.
There was at some point, I don't remember when it was, but I was like, oh my goodness, so much of what we've been told is really geared towards servicing for free, giving them free labor, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you took on an unpaid job
Yeah.
to be somebody else's content writer.
Yeah. In exchange for mild dopamine hits every once in a while from, ooh, someone liked it.
Well, and for a while though it worked, and that's why we're so believing that this works, and it still does work, Matt. I don't want anybody out there thinking you cannot get business from social media. You can. It's just about shifting your intentions, your strategies back to the actual relationship building, back to your playbook instead of playing their rules. So we can satisfy both. We can still put content on their platform, which satisfies them and getting that, but we can play it our way by actually building the connections we want to instead of waiting for them to hand deliver us maybe the right people, which right
Right.
now they're not doing that. They're not giving us the right people.
I don't mean to put you on the spot because I didn't ask you this beforehand, but is there a specific example from a client that you've worked with where you helped them make what seemed like a minor shift in that intention that had a big impact on the other side? Is there a concrete example that you can share?
There is, and I can tell you this is because this will give hope to people even starting from fresh. I had a client that actually hated social media. I mean, physically hated it because she didn't like playing the game by the rules. She felt like she had to follow all these rules because all these rules have been programmed into us slowly that this is how you do social media. You post so much content, you go engage so much, you do XYZ to get more reach and visibility. She hated it because it didn't feel human. It didn't feel like she was building relationships. So she came on with me, and I was like, throw it all out the door. She's like, none of it feels good. I want you to help. She's like, I need to be on social media because this is during the pandemic. So she had no choice. And she's like, so I need to be on the social media. I need to bring my business here. And she's like, I'm absolutely hating it. And I'm like, throw all the rules out the door. Everything you think you should do, stop doing it. And I said, for the next 2 weeks, do nothing except what feels good. So she spent 2 weeks literally only posting what felt good, no rules. She only reached out and talked to people that felt good. And from starting with me 6 weeks later, she signed her first client. We
That's
just threw out the
fantastic.
rule book. That's all we did.
Yeah. Yeah. And be more yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, was there intention and strategy? Of course there was. Do I have more
Mhm.
to it than that? Yeah, but at the end of the day, that's what we did.
Well, that's a great example. Thanks for sharing. Okay. This may also put you a little on the spot, but one of the things we want to do with this show, our intentions, is to explore the things that maybe we're not talking about enough or at all that we should be. So, what's a topic around relationships in business that isn't getting enough of a spotlight from your point of view?
Realizing that everything we do online is actually a conversation. Content is you speaking to them about a topic you want to talk about. Comments are, say you're commenting on someone else's content, that's you replying back to them if it started a conversation. And we're not focused on that. Instead, we're focusing on checking off a tick box. Let's comment because we need it for reach and algorithms. Let's put up content because hopefully the algorithms will deliver the right people to us, but we're not looking at the fact that all of this is an actual conversation. I mean, it's just huge for me on that one, because when we do
Yeah.
that and we change that, when we're actually talking to people, we get to build real
Mhm.
relationships.
All right. You've heard a little bit about the show behind the scenes and what we're planning. I want to bring a unique, entertaining edge, a little daily show quality
I love
um,
it.
to business conversations. Because honestly, one of the things that is important to me is bringing people together. And right now, especially with the polarization in our culture, I think comedy is one way. Anyway, I'm going on too long. What is exciting for you about the launch of this show?
I think that it is that you're trying to bring that different aspect to it. I mean, because we have all these conversations, and I love being able to bring some fun to it. I mean, actually, even for my clients, having a sense of humor is a requirement. But at the end of the day, these are serious topics in a sense. But we're kind of done with that. We need a little more entertainment out of it too, and make it fun, make people actually want to be like, oh, I want to be there. So I'm excited you're bringing that aspect to it, and it's not just a podcast. You're actually wanting to be bringing out a show that is gonna help change lives in a good way. You know what I mean? And that it's something good that's coming out. I mean, I actually was looking at my media the other day that AI spit out on my phone, and it was negative, 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 and I'm just like, I want good stuff in my feed, because there was still so much good happening in the world, and I truly believe that your show is going to
Yeah.
help bring some more of that, and we need it.
Yeah. Thank you. That is our intention. And I think it's going to be so important that we have people like yourself in the family of the show, in the orbit of the show, participating as a panelist, as a guest in the conversations that we have. And because people with a good sense of humor and a rich perspective who are authentic in the way that they present. I think you're all of those things. It's immediately when I met you, I was like, okay, this is somebody who's definitely got something important to say. And the way that you say it, I think brings a lightness to it too, and
Oh,
optimism. So thank you for
you.
thank you in advance for all the yeses you're going to give me when I
did,
ask you to
did,
do
did
different
my
things.
head just blow up a little bit?
Let me get that on landscape on the view there. Portrait's not big enough.
Thank you.
Heidi, thank you so much. I really appreciate you having this short conversation, and it will be, I'm sure, the first of many.
Oh, looking forward to it, Matt. Thank you so much.
All right. So thank you for listening or watching to this pre-launch episode of the Building Business Relationship Show. This pre-launch phase is all about discovery. So if something sparked your interest, we'd love to hear from you. Please share your thoughts, ideas, or guest suggestions and help us shape the conversations to come. And of course, please subscribe so you'll be the first to know when we officially launch. And in the meantime, when new content drops, especially on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube. That's where everything will get posted in video. So until next time, take care. Bye-bye for now.